Hi, we're Orange Avenue.
And we love AVA Live Radio.
This is Brian J. Klein, and I love AVA Live music.
Hi, this is Naomi Som from Blue Cinema, and I love AVA Live Radio.
Hi, this is Tiffany, and I love AVA Live Radio.
Hey guys, this is Jacqueline Jax, and I love AVA Live Radio.
Hi, this is Steve Minotti, and I love AVA Live Radio.
Hey, this is Jessica from the American Vocal Academy, and I love AVA Live Radio.
Run and hide, Sunday girl. Hurry up and wait. I said wait all week and still I wait.
Hello, AVA Live Radio fans. I have a real treat for you on today's Game Changer series. Founder and CEO of telecommunications giant BlogTalkRadio, Cinchcast, Alan Levy is here with me from New York. Hi, Alan. Welcome to AVA Live Radio.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited that you're
pleasure.
here. Thank you very much. Congratulations on launching what is the podcast platform since it began in 2006. That's quite an accomplishment.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's exciting and it's a lot of fun. It couldn't be done without our thousands and thousands of hosts like you, creating content and using the platform. So it's a lot of fun.
Oh, that's exciting. I can't believe I've seen so many changes since we've been here, and I'm really excited to see the future. I think a little bit. For my listeners who, if you think you haven't yet been exposed to this amazing technology, you're actually using it right now by listening to AVA Live Radio. Blog Talk Radio enables us to create live, streamed, and archived in-call radio shows using any type of phone, and like us, we're on Skype today, so thank you, Alan. Thank you so much for bringing this to the world, and we're really enjoying it.
My pleasure. Well, thank you.
Let's talk about turning concepts into reality. Taking an idea and making it a reality is so incredible, and a lot of people are trying to do that today, especially through our show. When you have a concept like this, like that you had here, and you want to get it and to people, tell me what happened. Who inspired you to create this, and how did you get it out there to people?
Mm-hmm. Well, I created a blog. The way that the history of the Blog Talk Radio is really interesting. I created a blog for my dad, who had lymphoma in the spring of 2006. And I didn't really know anything about social media. I didn't know anything about blogging. I had no idea. I was in the telecommunications space, actually. And I created a blog, and it was his third time with it. It was a rough go, and I was fascinated by this blog, and so was he, by the way. I mean, one day I create the blog, I put up his picture, I took it to the hospital, showed him, and he was fascinated. And here was a great place for me to communicate with our friends and family and keep everyone updated. And unfortunately, it wasn't a good situation. His prognosis was very weak. But I kept seeing the words "join the conversation" throughout all these blogs, except I couldn't hear any conversations. So I said, wouldn't it be interesting if we could let these bloggers, which were millions of them, actually use their phones to create radio shows? So rather than just simply, write a text blog and people could write a comment, you don't know it's not really that interactive. I don't know if the comment was written an hour after you wrote the post, or a day after, or a week after. So we invented this technology which allows people to broadcast live, and then we record it as podcasts, and that's how Blog Talk Radio started. And I was the first host. I used to host 5 radio shows a day, talking to myself. And now we've hosted 2 million of these. We hosted 43,000 radio shows in January alone, and we're the largest online talk radio network.
That's incredible. That's a great example of you have to learn to do it yourself before you can really build the company.
That's for sure.
So how does someone get a prime location on the platform? Just by applying for a feature, or do you hand select them depending on the guests that are coming on?
So we have, again, we're hosting 1,800 radio shows a day, which is a huge amount. And so there are different ways for our hosts to be featured on the network. There's there are companies that use it, brands that use it, individuals that use it, and we also have an editorial team that makes selections of the top picks of the day. They're called staff picks. You could see them on the home page or on any other throughout the site on a box on the right, which is very valuable property because, you know, if you have a celebrity or notable or something that our editors really feel is worthy, they'll be featured there, and that'll go through the entire site, and we have millions of web pages. So, you know, there's a lot of promotional capabilities within the platform, and you know, so it's quite interesting.
Yeah, it's amazing. I go through a lot of the featured shows often and see what's been on, and everybody from Obama to the hottest fashion bloggers have been on Blog Talk Radio. It's remarkable how many people embrace the technology, and it's great that you've been able to make it possible. You must be encouraged every single day.
Yeah, you know, it is fascinating. You know, we started from zero. You know, I didn't know anyone in the technology space, and I didn't know anyone in radio or media, and I didn't know any bloggers. And just through outreach and word of mouth and providing value, we built the platform to this point. And now, you know, I mean, everyone's a self-publisher today, right? You know, you have your own radio show. Well, other people may not have radio shows, but they have their Facebook page. They're self-publishers. They're creating content. Brands are creating content. Organizations are creating content. They all need to create content, and our platform is just very easy to do that, and that content lives on. It's very strong SEO-wise as well. So,
it is very strong.
You know, you see that, right? I would guess, and you know, if someone Googles your name, your radio show is going to rank probably pretty high.
All over the place, absolutely.
Yeah,
you guys have brought us a lot of excellent traffic. Aside from our own marketing, you really have been the key factors to us doing so well, especially in the very, very beginning. Come here and you have your own community, but that community is very small in the beginning, and so you get everybody kind of linked up and headed in your direction. So
right.
That's just so it's very valuable. You know, there's a lot of platforms, show hosts are like, oh yeah, you can do this and you can do that, but being part of a community that you've built, and you have built your own community, you get a lot of support from the other radio show hosts and the people that are on it.
Right, I would think you do, and that's going to really accelerate much more because with the new site design, which we launched February 1st, which is a much cleaner user interface and design, we have much more robust categories and subcategories, and it's within those categories there'll be featured content and more brands associated with the platform. So I think that this redesign was very important for us to take the platform to the next level.
And I'm so excited. You're going car radio, you said before?
Well, I think you know, invariably, you know, people love talk radio, and they love it mostly. They listen to talk radio in the car, and whether it's sports talk radio or politics, there's really not a lot of choices, you know. So if it's the political side, you've got, you know, far right, you know, guys like Rush Limbaugh and Hannity and the like, and of course sports, you know, huge audiences for sports talk radio, and our platform is perfectly suited for mobile, and perfectly suited ultimately to be in the car. So if you're driving, your audience could be listening to your content either live or on demand in your car, and I think, you know, that again, there's a lot of work that will need to go into it, but invariably it's going to happen.
I love the fact that right now I have listeners that are on the other side of the world able to listen to the show, and they write in and tell me that they either caught it live or they caught it. And it's exciting to get that you know, that kind of interaction. And I would get music from all over the world. We have a lot of English people and Irish that submit their music to Live Radio, and it's all because of your platform that we're able to do that. Is there, you know,
I have a question for you.
Sure.
I have a question for you. Do you create Facebook events for each of your shows?
We do. We actually create Reverb Nation events on Reverb Nation, and in touch with a lot of musicians, and then that also goes off on our blogs and simultaneously on Twitter and on Facebook events too. Kind of using the full gamut of social media to keep in touch with everyone. It's difficult because it's hard, even though we have a main website, it's hard to get new users and rally all the people together into one place, surprisingly, because some people just love to get on Facebook, some are just loving Twitter, and some are always on Reverb Nation. You know, as I said, they all go to avalive.com at one time or another, but maybe not every day with the phone. So put it out there on multiple platforms for sure.
Right, okay.
We talk a lot about personal branding and marketing, and obviously my big question for you is, what is your opinion on getting a project to go viral? Have you ever seen anything go viral from Blog Talk Radio?
Yeah, there's been a number of things that have gone viral. I guess the most prominent the most prominent thing that went viral was the TV show Jericho. It had to do with the TV show Jericho. Are you familiar with it, Jericho?
No, I'm not. What's that? I haven't seen it.
A couple of years ago, Jericho. There was a TV show Jericho on CBS that was like a cult. It was like a sci-fi about the world coming to an end. It was called Jericho, and it was like a Star Trek in the early days, kind of, and it was canceled by CBS, and one of the hosts on Blog Talk Radio started doing radio shows and promoted them through message boards. They were very active Jericho message boards, and essentially it was bring the show back. And so each night he would have a radio show about Jericho, and he would have the actors from the show on. He'd have the producers on the show. He would have the leaders from the message boards, and he'd get tens of thousands of listeners to these. I mean, live, archived, the message boards would light up, and he came up with this phrase to say that CBS was nuts for canceling it, and he said he called for nuts to be sent to CBS Studios. Peanuts. Yeah. And 40 tons of nuts was ultimately sent to CBS. And that, and basically CBS sent a note out and said, look, we hear you loud and clear. We'll bring the show back for another season. And P.S. stop sending the nuts, and with a smiley face, which they loved, right? Because they got all this branding and all this viral discussion around the show that they ultimately brought back. Now it was only brought back for a year, but so we were in the heart of that.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Activity, and that was a great story. Yeah.
It's a powerful thing. I mean, I'm mesmerized by the internet. I'm on it every single day with the show and everything else that I do with the because I have a clothing company as well. And since I think I started, and since then, I'm still up on every new social media thing, and I'm always trying things. And now I have the show that we do on Hot Topic Tuesday about branding and developing your own personal brand, your own music brand, things like that. And it's exciting stuff. I mean, the future is definitely, we're in the present already, but it's got so much more to come. And we're growing so fast on the internet. The internet is growing so fast. So it's wonderful to see that and be part of that generation, isn't it?
Yeah, well, there's no doubt. And if you tap into the tools that are available to leverage the network effects of the web, then that's it's just incredible. So whether it's LinkedIn or it's Facebook or Blog Talk or Twitter and Pinterest and others, and I think your strategy is right, that you want to establish your brand, establish your create content, be consistent with it, but make sure you're distributing it everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I love to try the different social platforms that come up, because if I can get a little bit of experience with them and then talk to the CEOs or the help or people that are in charge of those platforms and building them, then it's great to be able to talk about the show and come from an aspect of it as a user rather than just an advisor or passer on of information, So that's interesting to me.
Yes, yeah.
I hear one of your success secrets is that you're looking to surround yourself with people that are smarter and know more than you do. Tell me about your team. I mean, you've got a strong team there.
Yeah. I think any successful entrepreneur has to realize that, you're only as good as, what you know, but, that you don't know everything. Mm-hmm. And that's clearly been, one of my recipes of success, and I built a few companies and now this one. So I've always surrounded myself with the best of breed that you could find. So whether it's engineering or it's, on the content side or whatnot, and I think you always have to approach things like that. And there's a lot of CEOs of companies and executives that are very they're somewhat insecure and they've got to control everything and they've got to put their imprint on everything, and I don't necessarily see that as the right path. And I'm a 53-year-old entrepreneur and CEO founder of a very cool web company. I mean, there's just no way that I can't surround myself with 53-year-old people, right? So we would never. Maybe for the geriatric home, we could really do something. But even if I wanted to build a web company for the geriatric home, I'd need young people to build it, because I'd want to reach a lot of old people. And and again, I'm not calling myself old by any stretch, but you get the point. So you've got to be able to look around, constantly understand your resources. And I have to say, we've really been blessed with Blog Talk Radio, the people here, because the people particularly in customer service, the people that are supporting our hosts and our community, they've been with us since day one. And they started out as doing radio shows, and they just loved the platform, and they were poets, or they were interested in this medium, and they started helping, and then they became part of our team, and it's in your DNA, it's like in their blood now. So the team I have is just unbelievable. I mean, so dedicated. It's not easy. It's a 24/7. It's you host 1,800, radio shows a day. It's just an unbelievable amount of volume, and so you have to really look at your team, and then you got to understand, okay, well, where we're going, and help. You got to plot the course as CEO, but then you got to make sure that, okay, if you have a good idea, okay, it's fine, but how you can execute on that, and what do you need in terms of resources to get you to the next level, and that's kind of where I spend a lot of my time.
It's interesting that you mentioned that, because a lot of my listeners have a great idea, but they don't have the resources and they don't know how to execute it to the next level. What is it in taking that first step that just holds them back so much? I mean, I know finances are one thing, but if you have a great idea and you kind of have a plan, the finances come. The more you talk about it, the more you put your own time and energy into it. What do you think is the key factor to taking that step? Is it just, throwing caution to the wind and going with it, or do you have to be more prepared, or what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a good question. Having a good idea, there's a lot of people that have a good idea, but and you're right, execution is key, and ultimately, I shouldn't say that, not necessarily ultimately. There's a lot of variables that go into, of course, raising money. Very few companies can actually raise the money, to scale these ideas.
Right.
But I think if you're out there thinking about, if you have an idea, and you're in the apparel, you're in the dress business, you're in the fashion business, and you can scale it and grow. It doesn't mean you're going to be the next Ralph Lauren or the next, but you can certainly accomplish many great things. I look at, when I thought about this, it first started out, I was in a financial position to fund it myself the early days and get it going, which was good. But I will say that, I was very cognizant of developing an idea that if successful would be hard for someone to replicate, right? Mm-hmm. And that you've got to. So again, it's not just the idea. It's just like, well, can it be easily replicated? Because any good idea is going to get taken over by a Google or a Facebook, and we actually did that. There's huge barriers to entry to what we've done. The technology barriers. So I think there's a lot of variables, and just make sure at the end of the day, the last thing I'll just say is you want to add value to your users. At the end, if your users don't find value in what you're doing and what they're doing, and even if they don't pay for it, because taking someone's time is more valuable than what they may pay per month. Right. You're not going to succeed, and I think we've really focused on that. At the end of the day, what is the value we're providing our hosts and our community? And if you keep focused on that, it's a good approach.
Your value is no doubt in your brand name, no doubt. I mean, when you see Blog Talk Radio and you see everything that surrounds that, that's what makes you unable to be copied. Because even if someone came up with a similar technology or something that, latest and greatest that you haven't gotten yet, which I don't think that they will, because I think you're pretty much on the trend every step of the way. But it's about that brand that you've established, that community, people coming back to you and trusting in what you have to offer, don't you think?
Yeah, yes. I think at this point, with 2 million radio shows and our index and content and the SEO and the page ranking but the technology itself is, look, you use it, you create a radio show, you have a studio in your browser and on your desktop. No other platform does that, where you can actually have live, and so we do have a real technology edge. However, you're right in saying that we have a significant amount of volume and content under the bridge already, and which is impossible to replicate. I'm excited by it, and it's a kind of thing that the larger the network gets and the more people that are involved, it's like a virtuous cycle, right? Because then it's better for our hosts. They bring in better guests. Those guests bring in more audiences. The audiences bring in more hosts. It's fascinating.
How do you think this is going to evolve in the next 3 years? I hear that if there's going to be almost a doubling in the amount of people that are on the internet using social media. What do you think?
I mean, the doubling is probably right. There already is a billion. There already are a billion so-called people or accounts on Facebook. Maybe 1.3 billion. There's only 7 billion people in the world, and only 3 billion have computers or something. So, or access to the internet. I think there's no doubt that the trend is there. Like I said, everyone's a self-publisher. Brands, agencies, associations, individuals. They have their day jobs and then they have their night jobs, and then those day jobs may vanish and they become, proprietors in their own business and they're consultants, and so it's all surrounding the web. It's surrounding self-branding, and it's surrounding content. And and that's what we're squarely in. So I'm excited for us. I mean, for what we will do over the next year is raise the level of awareness of this network much more prominently, and that is something that we're going to do just to make people aware of all the many things that are going on in this network. It's just so far under the radar.
Well, how can like a show like us, how can we help raise more awareness for Blog Talk Radio?
Just, we'll make some shirts up, and you just wear, I host a radio show, and walk around with it, and on the back it'll be a Blog Talk Radio. I host a radio show, Blog Talk Radio, so you could be like a walking billboard.
All right, send me a shirt.
Right, I'm going to send you the shirt. That's it. We're going to do that. We're going to send you the shirt, and maybe you'll design it. But we have men and women here. Yeah.
Oh yeah. All right,
so,
that's my next project. I'm getting a Blog Talk Radio.
All right, that's your next project. You could design our shirt. But I mean, I've always thought that would be a cool thing, because if you're walking down the street and you say you have a radio show, what do you mean you have a radio show? Yeah, it's on Blog Talk Radio. So who has a radio show? It could be a bumper sticker. I have a radio show. So this whole notion of empowerment and enabling individuals to have their radio show is really what's driving this just enormous volume of content flowing through this network.
I did a webinar not too long ago with a lot of the musicians from the community that I have here on AVA Radio, and we talked about wearing your own music T-shirt and putting it on your car, because it's really not expensive to get those magnetic car. And you're a walking billboard, but because you're wearing your own face, people ask you more about it. And it's a great way to make an impression, and really, if you're new.
Yeah, kind of fun. So
anyway,
yeah, you would. I know you're into fashion. So I would say, so other things, that get a little wider appeal, and that's what we're looking to, provide tools in the website for our hosts. So, for example, you live in Florida, and if you're having a top guest on, or if you're breaking news, do you send the press release, or do you notify the date or the local, wherever your newspapers are? You're a radio host. And if we have thousands and thousands of hosts. If they're communicating with and sharing news and information, that's just so powerful, right?
Yeah.
And so I think there's lots of ways to get the word out, and collectively we'll do it along with our hosts.
Yeah, well, we absolutely believe in Blog Talk Radio and love you guys at Blog Talk Radio, and we appreciate it so much that you allow us to have our radio show on your server. It's really, really great.
Well, thank you, and thanks for being a part of the community, and it was a pleasure being here, and I definitely will have to follow up on the shirt.
Definitely, and when you come down to South Florida, let me know. We'll get the artist wearing the I'll go out and take pictures together and show you around.
Yeah, sounds good. All right. Well, have a great day and enjoy the sun.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us here on AVA Live Radio on Blog Talk Radio. Guys, if you haven't caught Alan's show, go to blogtalkradio.com, Alan Levy, so that you can hear his show live when he is on there. And he's got an exciting show, too. I also want to thank everybody for coming to the show today and listening in Game Changer featuring Alan Levy, Blog Talk Radio, Cinchcast CEO. Be sure to go to Facebook, join their page, and if you want to catch me on the Fast Track, go to our Fast Track page on avaliveradio.com. That's a great upcoming webinar that we have going on every Wednesday. And the next one I think that we have available spots is on the 20th. So you can find a link on our main website, avaliveradio.com. This is Jacqueline Jax. I'm going out with some awesome music from Eric Muniz, Glenn Goff, Billy Idol, and Insignia. Have a great one, guys.
Oh, if you ever met her, she can make you smile, 'cause she was beautiful in every way. Something about the way she spoke, it would lift you up. It could take you high to a brighter day. to the sky, way up high. You know her face, it was like the sun, 'cause it could brighten up your darkest days. When she held me in her arms, my worries faded away. Then I could see the day through clear eyes. Ooh, she was beautiful. Ooh, she could make you smile. Yeah, she could lift you up to the sky, way up high. You know, she was an angel sent here just for a while, but her time had come to go back home. Now that she's in heaven, I wonder if she sees me cry when it's dark outside and I'm alone. Ooh, she was beautiful. Ooh, she could make you smile. Yeah, she could lift you up to the sky, way up high. Last night in my dreams I saw her, oh, that beautiful face and those beautiful eyes, blue as sky.
That was Eric Muniz with She Was Beautiful. Next up, we've got by Glenn Goss, Billy Idol. This is called Bitter Pill.
Like I've written down a million, I run through every roadblock in this town. I laughed at all the signs that say speed will kill you. It took you to slow me down, and I've forgotten how to fly. But I remember before I die, it's a crooked line I follow. It's a rocky road. Tomorrow, since misery is always colorblind. I've taken every remedy for ignorance and sorrow, something to cure this wicked mind. I've forgotten how to fly, but I'll remember before I die. It's a crooked line I follow, and a rocky road I ride. It's a bitter pill I swallow, and just to keep you by my side, just to keep you satisfied. love in this town. After all the signs that say speed will kill you, it took you to slow me down. 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 It took you to slow me down.
And that was Glenn Goss from Double G and the Cool Beans. He wrote that song, and that was singing Better Hell. Awesome song, Glenn. Thanks for sending it into AVA. I've got something good for you here with you.
It's